You're listening to a hockey podcast where we talk about ice hockey and stuff. Yeah.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to a new season of this hockey pod. We hope you had a fantastic off season and that you've healed from any pain your favorite team may have caused. With that being said, it is a new year, and there are a lot of changes to look forward to. In today's episode, we will be checking in with each other, sharing our thoughts, and putting in our predictions for the upcoming 2022-2023 season. Since we have so many teams to cover this episode, we will split it into two. Today, we're actually going to be making our predictions for the Eastern Conference, and then tune in next week for our predictions for the Western Conference. But before we begin, I'd like to give a big congratulations to Molly and the Colorado Avalanche for winning the Stanley Cup last season. Congratulations, Molly! Woo!
Thank you.
Oh,
It
Molly
was
won
all
the
down
cup?
to me. Yeah, I won the cup. It was
It's in her
awesome.
room. It's in her room right now.
Yeah, you can call me like I don't have any puns for my name and anyone on Avalanche, unfortunately. You can call me Mandaskog. I don't know. Skog.
How do you feel?
Elated, shocked, or crying, screaming, laughing. Does that cover it all?
Did you watch it? Like the last
I did watch it. I did choke a little bit. All good things, you know, all positive emotions, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be totally disappointed if we lose a single game or anything now. Mhm.
Oh my god.
Are you sure? Like you got a taste. If I got a taste, it'd be done.
I don't know. I know what a Stanley Cup tastes like now. Not that
Yeah, so you want
ever
more.
licked it when I saw it. I did not do that. No. Did not lick the Stanley Cup.
Well, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. How about you, Jesse? How do you feel about, we're both on the same team here for the
Another
Leafs?
year, another Leafs first round loss.
Classic.
Mhm. Yeah.
What
I
else
don't know
can
what
we
I
even
expected.
say?
Right? It feels like deja vu every year. I'll just say I guess right now my predictions is the Leafs lose in the first round again, and that's it. There you go. Easy.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the Western Conference.
That's all we need to know.
That's all. That's all our predictions.
Yeah.
I will say, for Leaf fans that feel defeated, at least, I know we say this every year, but I actually mean it this year, and that is that we did a pretty good job. It just kind of sucked this season, and it was really hard to be truly deeply disappointed. It was a different kind of disappointment. I don't know if you agree with me, Jesse, but looked like we tried.
Yeah, like they played well against Tampa Bay, and like I had this feeling that it would probably end up like this, right? A sort of like you lose in Game 7, you fought hard, but you still couldn't make it. But if this was the first time they lose in the first round against Tampa, I'd be like, oh, it was hard fought. But at this point, so many times in a row, you're just like, I don't know, I feel numb.
I don't think it's a fair matchup, to be honest with you. Against Tampa again, come on.
Yeah, and they
I
made
think
it to
it's
the
very
finals.
unfortunate. Yeah,
I'd be more understandable if they hadn't blown it in other times in the past, like against like Columbus or Montreal, where like they could have won and maybe they should have won, but they punted.
No, there's always this year.
There's always this year, guys. Don't
You sound
ever
just like a
lose
Leafs
hope.
fan, Molly.
Woo! You got this.
Hey, but the question is then, can the Colorado Avalanche do the same thing as Tampa did? 2 in a row? We're going to give our thoughts actually right now, not quite yet on the Colorado Avalanche as they are in a different conference. But, shall we begin?
The Western Conference. Woo!
The Eastern.
Sorry, the Eastern Conference. Woo!
Woo! Potato, tomato, right? Okay.
Oh, dear. I'm so tired. Honestly, I think it's just my chronic disposition at this point since I left high school is just tired. Like,
Yeah. I can empathize with that. I can empathize.
Oh dear. I thought
Um,
I was 32 the other day. Honestly, it's not even funny. I'm not even 30 yet.
oh my gosh, I know. I feel like I'm. You know what? Let's not talk about 30s. We're still in our 20s. We're young. We're fresh.
So fresh.
Young and fresh.
Talking about, oh god, talking about fresh. Should we talk about some fresh predictions?
Yeah. Ooh, fresh
Ooh.
predictions. Okay, let's start off with the Atlantic Division. Does that sound good?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we're going
so
8-1.
yeah, let's go 8-1. Just like make it to it's our tradition, right? So
Yep.
Yeah.
Start from the bottom, go to the top.
yeah, how about Jesse? How about you start?
I think the Atlantic right now is probably the toughest for me to pick because I feel like almost every team in this division should be improving or at least maintaining their level of success. The only one that I feel I can safely put at the bottom is the Montreal Canadiens. I think we're expecting another stinker of a season from the Canadiens. I don't think as bad as last year. Last year was like unexpectedly bad. This year is going to be like, I guess planned bad, right? So it should be a little bit better. Some of the young guys will be improving and at least like playing a little bit better now that everything's like kind of like in place. Like there's a plan for the future. But I do still think that plan for the future involves, possibly tanking and getting the first overall pick. That would probably help them a lot. Outside of that, I think they're like the least improved out of all the Atlantic Division teams, or at least the least capable. So my prediction is that the Montreal Canadiens end up in 8th again.
Oh
Just
my. What
nodding
about you,
along.
Molly? Oh, you
100%.
you agree?
I've done some really, really stellar note taking, as always, with my predictions, and I've just put underneath Canadians, ha ha ha, at least they have Dadanoff.
Oh my god. Ooh. Any Canadians listening? We apologize. We apologize.
I don't know if I call that a consolation.
Well, yeah, I think it's a plus. I mean, I was looking at everything, and that's the only plus I could draw from it.
It makes me feel like they have a lot of those types of wingers that are like decent but not game breaking.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're not the Coyotes.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
Well,
gosh.
I wonder where those will end up in the Central Division.
Question mark?
What did you put, Channelle?
Well, you know what? 3 times Canadians.
Ah, there you
Full
go.
house.
Yeah, yeah. It was an interesting choice.
Anything you want to add?
Well, I mean, besides the fact that the Canadians do at least, here's my plus, they have a captain finally. We got Nick Suzuki as captain this year. Maybe he can bring some fresh takes in the locker room. I'm not sure. But,
I love that. They have a captain. Nice.
woo, sweet.
Give him a pat on the back.
Oh, and then, of course, the question, price. Is he is he going to go into complete retirement or will he come back later? I feel very bad. His last few years have been, a roller
Difficult.
coaster.
Yeah, my guess is we don't see him this year, probably.
Yeah. I haven't mentioned Price in it because I feel like he's going through shit still.
Yeah.
And it's not a real question that we should be asking in someone who's recovering, I'd like to say.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So then we'll move on then.
Actually,
7.
the only other wild card I
Oh.
think we should mention maybe is Uri Slavkovsky. Considering he was drafted first overall, I know there's a lot of consternation with Montreal fans feeling that maybe Shane Wright should have been selected or maybe even somebody else, but
Yeah, because he was supposed to go 4th or Shane Wright was picked 4th.
yeah, exactly. Ended up getting picked fourth, surprisingly. Obviously, that was the interesting part of the draft. So I do know that obviously if he does perform well, then everything will be fine. But if he performs even a little bit below expectations, you're going to get some fans complaining immediately.
Oh, 100%.
Watch it happen.
Ooh-wee.
If he doesn't score in the first few games, they're already going to get riled up.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
7.
7th spot. Yes. How about you
7.
start, Molly? How about you? You start.
Should we just say who we put and see if it's the same or not?
Sure. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Detroit.
Sabres.
Oh,
Jesse.
Jesse Lambert.
I am
Pardon me.
so
All right, well, I'll
so
let you two
disappointed in
discuss.
you.
I'll let you two discuss first. Why do you choose Detroit?
Go ahead, Molly.
I put E's a plan. ... Is it a plan? It's taken a lot longer than first anticipated. I guess their rebuild. I mean, they look okay. They have a team that's functional, but
Yeah.
in this Atlantic division, that's the word, division. It's not a winner.
And that's a winner,
So,
darling.
yes, that's what I put. What do you put?
I don't really think they have the best goaltending.
No,
You know, they did. Wait, did they just lose? They lost Grice, right? Or is he still
Yes.
there?
No,
Okay,
Grice
no.
walked in
no,
free
they
agency and he's with the
So they had
Blues now.
Ned. So they just have Ned right now.
No, Ville Husso.
Oh yeah, Huso. So it's not like a stellar lineup here.
It's
The
not
only
terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It's not great. They do have injuries right now that are going to be kind of long. So we'll see how that ends up. But I will say that they do have two really great players, or it seems like they'll be great anyways, since last year was their first season playing with them, or at all really, is Lucas Raymond and Maurice Sider.
Yeah.
Maurice Sider. Um, Started last year, really showed their talents. Raymond had 57 points, Sider had 50. I'm really interested to see how they'll take on the role in with the Red Wings. I'm interested.
Yeah, they were both basically up for the Calder and Cider won it, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
there's at least some encouragement in that sense. Like I figure if they have a better second year, that just improves the team right there.
yeah, yeah. Okay, what about you, Jesse? You put the Sabres, right?
Yeah, I picked Buffalo. At first, I was feeling like putting Buffalo higher, but looking at everybody else that is in the Atlantic and how everybody kind of improved in the
Mm-hmm.
offseason, I still feel like I have to keep them at seventh just because they are technically clearly rebuilding. They haven't improved dramatically, but what we did see last year, there was definitely some improvements, just even with the guys that were already there. Tage Thompson had a crazy year. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he can repeat it as successfully, but I could still see him having a strong year. And Alex Tuck had a really good time in Buffalo last season, so I should expect that to keep going on. So I think the difference maker will be the rookies with Owen Power, Jack Quinn, and JJ
Mm-hmm.
Peterka. They're all exciting, and I think they'll be fun to see how far they can push the team over the edge. But in the long run, really, the only additions they got were Labushkin on defense and Comrie in net for like a backup position. Everything else is basically the same. So I don't see much. As much as I feel like they might gel better as a team, like they might start getting their groove together, but with just the stiff competition in the Atlantic, I expect them to be in seventh. But I wouldn't be surprised if they are a stronger seventh place, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, how about sixth position now, Molly?
Senators. Yep.
Ooh, I put the Sabres.
This is where I slot in Detroit.
Oh,
Okay.
controversial.
It's interesting. We have they're roughly around the same things, almost interchangeable.
Yeah. I don't have much notes on the Senators, so you guys could
Mm.
talk about the Senators later, but I just put, why is it that they're not at the bottom when I'm not in Ottawa? They're starting to look a real team. What is this?
Well, right? Yeah.
They're starting to become watchable now, Molly, and you left.
God damn it,
Look,
Molly.
look, it wasn't my choice.
That's true.
True.
I was traded without permission. Thank you.
You should have signed a no trade contract.
You know what? Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, I'm not gonna add too much because Jesse did say a lot about the Sabres, so I'll just add that I agree with Tage that he did he had an amazing season last season. However, I disagree with Jesse in a sense that I do think he can keep it up because really when you look at his career, last season was his first full season since the 2018 and 19 season. So he only really played after, like, in between the last 3 years, really not very much, minus last year. Okay. I'm all over the place. But what I'm trying to say is last year he made 68 points, right? Tage? Yeah. 68
Yeah, like
points.
he had like 38 goals.
Yeah. And
That's
then
pretty
his
impressive.
last full season was in 2018, where he only made 12 points, and he didn't really have much of a chance in between, is what I'm trying to say. Therefore, we haven't really seen all of his potential. Just this alone should give him confidence enough to move forward. That's my thought. And also, I'm excited about Power.
Oh yes, of course.
Same.
Me for the Detroit Red Wings at number 6. Just to obviously you guys were a little bit more down than I was because I have them at 6 compared to 7. But I mean, we're basically in the same ballpark, of course. I do think they shouldn't be. I almost wanted to put them higher still again because I see a lot of improvement in their lineup, but is it enough? I'm not 100% certain. They got Andrew Kopp. He had a really strong year last year once he joined the Rangers, so we'll see if he can keep that up. David Perron has always been a solid forward. He's typically been up there for the Blues, so like it was surprising to see him in Detroit. I think Dominic Kubalik was a very good, like sort of sneaky signing for them to get their hands on him. I'm doubtful about the Ben Sherratt signing there. That one I'm not as strong on. But Ville Husto, I think, is a really good pickup for their goaltending. So honestly, I think it's all good. And the thing that gives me the most hope for them maybe is the new coach, Derek Lalonde, who was the assistant for Tampa Bay for the last few years. So he has some experience on a winning team. It's his shot to be a head coach, and I think anything over Jeff Blashill will be an improvement, honestly. So. I definitely see some improvement. I wouldn't be surprised if we're wrong about Detroit by the end of the year.
Ooh, interesting. I guess we're going to have to tune in with each other near the end. Okay, how about why are you laughing at me? Am I cheesy? I'm trying to capture our audience to hopefully watch in the future. Listen in the future.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the fourth,
5.
well, 5th. Yeah.
5. I think
That's
we're all
right.
unchangeable here, aren't we?
Yeah.
This is where I put my not favorite team.
Oh.
The Sabres.
Yes, your
Oh.
favorite, not favorite team. That's true. The Sabres. Yeah, all the bottom 4 is interesting. I put the Senators, so.
Oh, I have the Senators as well at number 5.
Oh, okay, there you go. Molly already. Oh well, no, she said I don't have much notes on the Senators actually. So fair enough. I think they lost a decent amount of people, but with that being said, their additions are very notable, right? With Alex DeBrincat, Claude Giroux. I know he's not like he's older, but he has that leadership experience. You know, he was the captain for Philly.
And he's still a good player.
He's still
he's
a
going to be up
great
for
player.
a decent amount of points for sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's a great player. I'm very interested to see how he plays with the Sens. I'm assuming he will not be far off from the previous seasons. But like Jesse was saying earlier, the Sens are looking interesting. They're looking interesting. I put them higher than normal because I do think they're going to get closer and they're going to inch their way. Not quite in the playoff spot, but almost. I could totally be wrong. We're going to find out by the end of the season how well their new team looks, how good their new team is, whatever. But we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, if they are in the 5th spot in the Atlantic, that does mean there is a chance they are a playoff team as a wild card spot, but that means someone like the Metro underperforms, which seems unlikely, right?
Will not happen, most likely. Exactly.
Yeah. I know a lot of fans were clamoring as Ottawa's like the sort of off-season winners with Alex DeBrincat and Claude Giroux additions. I'm definitely strong on both of those, like for sure. I think that's great. I was even kind of like okay with the Cam Talbot acquisition. I know it's not maybe the most popular move, but I think he's solid enough that it could definitely help the team. It's just now Cam Talbot is injured for a few weeks. I don't know how much that'll impact the team to start off,
Seven
but
weeks. Yeah.
yeah, it's not the best start, obviously, for that to happen.
Plus, doesn't he only have like a contract 1 year, or did he
I think
resign?
I don't remember how much time he has left on his contract, but 1 year might be all they need depending on the situation there. You just kind of need to like get into the playoffs. I think that's their goal right now, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
And I will say I don't. Me what gives me doubt I think is the defensive core, the back end. I suspect Ottawa probably wanted to try to improve their defense, and maybe they just weren't as successful as they were hoping. And I think that might have an impact on them overall. Their forward core is very strong. I think it's the defense that I'm worried about. And I do believe if the Sens maybe underperform to start the year and like it seems like they're not playoff bound, I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see Coach DJ Smith get canned.
Ooh.
I think he's at a point now. Like we even saw last year, if you remember, the Sens GM Pierre Dorian was like, "All right, I think we're like ready for the playoffs now," basically, and
Yeah.
then it clearly didn't happen, and he was like kind of walking back his comments a little bit.
Yes.
So I think if it's like 2 years in a row of like, okay, I'm expecting us to be competitive, and it falls apart, then maybe the coach is gonna have to look for another job.
Hey, we have a TikTok on that. Come watch us on TikTok. Nice plug-in. Molly, the Sabres. Do you have any additional things to say?
I put them 3 last year. I've done a reasonable
Did.
prediction. Thank you.
Yes,
Things are looking
you
up.
did.
I'm being sensible.
Yeah,
You
no,
are.
that's funny.
You like covered everything what I needed to say about the Sabres, like the young
Yeah.
young stock. Wow, that sounds really great, doesn't it? The young stock is where it's at the moment.
Comparing
isn't
them to
it?
cattle.
Horses, man. Young stock. You need a bit of breaking, but off they go, Moving swiftly onwards, I don't have anything to say about Sabres that you haven't said, so we'll go on to number 4.
All right.
Molly, how about you start?
Oh gosh. Bruins.
Bruins.
Also have the Bruins.
Ding, ding, ding.
Full house.
Tons across the board.
Yeah. On paper, this team looks great still. On paper.
Yeah.
But, like, last year I felt they were ropey.
Like I feel like they're a bit more middling than previous years, but at the same time, it still seems to be enough to get them through.
Didn't we say
Yeah.
last year they were middling as well? And yet
Yeah.
they came out swinging again.
See,
but
I'm happy you bring
inconsistent
that
swing.
up.
Yeah, but they did come into in the 4th position, right? So they got the last playoff spot in the Atlantic, and they did go out in the first round. So
Yeah.
which is lesser than previous years for them, right? It wasn't like their most
Yeah.
like stellar year, but so it's again I think like some people are expecting them to fall out, but they might be just good enough to slide through. I don't think it'll be convincing, but I think it might be enough.
Yeah, the Boston Bruins remind me a lot of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and not necessarily the last 4 years, considering they have not made the playoffs, I believe, the Pittsburgh Penguins in 4 years.
You mean past the first round?
Past the first round, my apologies. Yes, past the first round. They are like the Pittsburgh Penguins because they seem to be ready to kind of back away from the spotlight, but they kind of just inch their way in every season, and you're like, okay, I'm surprised.
Surprise! It's the Bruins.
Yeah.
Mother. Okay.
I'm
Sorry.
expecting the coaching change to possibly have a negative impact on the team.
Oh my gosh, me too.
I feel like Jim Montgomery might be good enough, but I feel like Bruce Cassidy was just really. I was still a little iffy about them firing him. I felt like he was a decent coach for the team, so I'm surprised they got rid of him. We'll see. Like it might not make a difference in the end there, but I am curious to see if that really pays off or not.
But I have to add this since you're talking about this. The Bruins have made the playoffs every single year with Cassidy since
Exactly.
2017. But here's the thing. It's great. However, it is not moving forward. So perhaps they just need a new voice.
Maybe they did make a cup final with him, so I mean I guess that's something. Oh, and there's the return of David Krejci, right, at center.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe he can respark a little bit of that chemistry that he had with Taylor Hall before leaving on his wing, and like the Bruins needed a proper second line center, so maybe he'll be able to get that going again.
Maybe.
I think what might stunt their season is the fact that Brad Marchand and McAvoy are going to miss some time early on because of surgeries, I believe.
Yeah. Hip
Like it
and
was both, they
shoulder.
were both expected to be out for a bit because of this there already. So like, if you start off with maybe a lot of losses because you don't have your full complement of players, sometimes it's hard to catch back up and get back into the playoff race.
What do you think, Molly?
Hold
Cool.
on. Thought is happening. A thought is happening. No. Who was it last year that was like, are they going to make the playoffs? No, they're not. Oh, they are. Oh, no, they're not.
Oh, that
Which
could
team was
apply to a
that?
few teams.
I know, but it was just kind of like, oh, there's injury. Oh, but they're back. Oh no. Which team was it? Shit me.
There are a couple that fall into that category if I'm
Yeah, there are. But I feel like
Oh,
that's
you're
what the
talking about
Bruins are going
Vegas,
to be.
maybe? Are you thinking of Vegas?
I'm talking about Vegas. Yeah, no wonder I blocked that from my mind.
Yes, of course.
Stupid shiny gold helmets.
Ferro-rushy heads.
Honestly, yeah, no, I feel like they're going to play Vegas.
Oh, okay, like a sort of in and out, in and out, in and out, and then the last second, you're
Will
like,
they,
out.
won't they? Yeah,
Shake
exactly.
it all about. Do the
Oh,
hokey pokey and
oh. Also, Molly, did you see I picked up Brad Marchand? Sorry for the English
Oh.
folk. Brad Marchand.
do
I
Guala.
picked him up in my fantasy, even though he's injured.
I
'cause I'm like,
did. I was like, he's injured. Should I pick him up? And then you picked him up. I was like, whoa.
I want
What?
to take that risk. I want to take that risk for sure.
But I want the rat.
Sorry, Leafs fans, if you're mad at me, don't be. It's all for the points, okay?
All for the points.
All right. So you want to move on?
Trois.
Why? Okay. Numéro 3.
Where? Top three. Prefacing this.
Yes.
I found it difficult to place to top three again.
Yeah.
Because there's just ill. Just ill. That's what I'm gonna say. It's a good
Ew?
ill, not like a bad ill.
Oh, a good ew.
Yeah, there's such
Yeah.
thing as a good ew, Jesse. Come on, get with it.
Come on,
Okay, okay.
get with, chronically fatigued me. So 3, I put lightning.
Okay.
What do you guys put?
Panthers.
I also put the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was torn between Panthers and Lightning.
That would be fun
So-
if Lightning were third, though, because it's like, come on, give other people a chance. Like, relax. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just great.
My
Yeah, although they lost Palette. So, sorry,
Yeah.
Palette.
Palat, yes. Yeah.
Palette.
They lost Palette.
Yeah, exactly. That is a big L, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I
that's
agree with you
why
there.
they went into threes, because they've got such a solid core of a team. Like what's not to love about the Lightning and how fucking great they are.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think it
they're
really
pretty
matters
great.
what position they're in. They just need to make the playoffs and then they're good.
Yeah, they'll just power it through. Will they make it a dynasty? Perhaps.
No, because the Avalanche are here.
Channelle, why do you have Florida at number 3?
I have Florida at number 3 because, well, did they win? They won the President's Trophy, right, last season?
Wait.
Yeah, so I have this like theory, especially in most recent years, that the team that wins the President's Trophy can see in their future a Stanley Cup within at least 3 years. We saw it with Tampa Bay, we saw it with Colorado. And maybe we'll see it with the Panthers. They're just inching their way up to the top. Maybe next year they'll get the cup. Maybe the year after that. We'll see. So I decided to put them in third place because of my heart. Because of my heart. That's the reason. They also... I wouldn't put them higher because they did lose... They lost Huberdeau.
Mackenzie.
And yeah, exactly. And Uyghur, Mackenzie Uyghur.
Yeah, I think
Archman?
that's basically why I'm putting them down from last year,
Because of
relatively
Huberdeau
speaking.
and Uyghur?
Yeah, but those losses, like although they did gain a Matthew Tkachuk, which is definitely a bonus.
Yeah.
I do think they lost a lot there with Huberdeau, Uyghur, even Marchment,
Yeah,
and
Marchment.
they had spent all their picks right at the deadline to try and acquire guys like Claude Giroux and Ben Chirot, so they don't have any first round picks for the next 3 years. It's going to be hard to acquire other guys if they want the deadline for a playoff run. And I'm still really scratching my head over the change of Coach Andrew Brunette to Coach Paul Maurice.
Paul Maurice, yeah, that's an
Right?
interesting one.
I'm still surprised they didn't give Brunette an extension, considering like the season was amazing. Like I know it flamed out in the playoffs against Tampa Bay, but I mean it's still Tampa Bay. I mean it is like I don't know. That's why I'm feeling like it's going to be a drop. They should still be competitive enough to make the playoffs, but I don't think it's we're not seeing another President's Trophy for them.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah.
Plus, you do see it with teams like that who like achieve the President's Trophy. They get real tired after a while, right? Like if you're playing at the top of your game the entire year, at some point you burn out of exhaustion. So sometimes it's easier to just like play a bit more measured throughout the season and save your energy for the playoffs. Like I feel like Tampa Bay's probably learned that lesson in the last few years because they lost the year they won the President's Trophy, but since then they've been second, third in their division. Keeping up a more even pace, but then really going hard in the playoffs.
Yes, we will.
So then at number 2, what do you girls have?
This is where I put the Panthers.
I put for the second year in a row, we've got the Toronto Maple Laughs.
I have the Tampa Bay Lightning at number 2.
Ooh, look at us mixing it
Oh.
up.
Nice.
I don't have much to add about the Panthers apart from I've put Bobrovsky. Is he solid? Because when he first showed up on the scene, everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna be the fucking best goalie ever." And then he was,
yeah. And here's $10,000 to 10 million. I mean 10,000.
Yeah, he was a bit, inconsistent, like lumpy porridge. So I don't know.
Sorry, lumpy porridge.
So I don't
Last
know.
year was really good for him, though. I do think he's like rebuilt his reputation a little bit at this point.
But
yeah,
it could have just been a fluky year. I don't trust hockey, okay? I don't trust hockey.
Goaltending's a bit like voodoo. You kind of just can't predict it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So is he going to be good? Is he not going to be good? But I still put him at second because Lightning ill. Yeah.
Good ew, right?
Good ew, not like
good ew.
Coyotes ew.
See, you're picking it up. You're picking it up, Jesse. Yeah. I picked the Leafs. Based off of just knowing my boys. They are good. They're gonna stay good most likely. It's just a matter of when they'll make the fucking second round. Pardon my French. I guess the question just for this team really is about Kyle Dubas, right? Is he gonna stay? Is he gonna go? Is he gonna sign? Like, I just want to know if he's gonna sign anytime soon. There is a rumor going around that the reason he is not signed is to scare the team, since they really do like Kyle Dubas. More like, hey, my job's at risk there. You want to pick it up, boys? Hello. So I think they're just kind of scaring them into the second round. We'll see how it plays. We lost a lot of solid guys, but here's the thing: the entirety of the Leafs, like the entire roster, is pretty solid. Has been for a few years. So we're gonna lose good guys. We're gonna gain good guys. I'm just interested to see how specifically the goaltending this year, how that goes. So like we have Matt Murray and Samsonov now, right? Murray, I've already gotten teased epically on Twitter for trying to have a positive thought about him. So we'll see how that goes. But in the preseason, he's been looking fine. So hopefully that can stick.
And I picked Tampa Bay for second, basically because I still think they're good enough to compete, obviously, and be at the top of the division. But I think compared to previous years where like they were losing players, but they were able to like mostly mitigate the losses, I think this time with the losses of Andre Palat at forward, and then also on the back end you lose McDonough and Jan Ruda, I think that's a bit too much of a blow to really like get to the top. Um, it's the kind of players where you're like they were a luxury for a long time to have, and then they finally had to let them go because they just did not have space for them anymore, unfortunately. So I do expect that to have an impact on the team. I still think, though, obviously with the core that they have and the coaching of John Cooper, they're still a lock for the playoffs and probably a high spot. Like I could see them end up
Yeah.
maybe, like you guys said, in third or possibly even first. It's kind of just a matter of like how hard they play throughout the regular season and maybe how much injuries affect their season, because obviously there's always that possibility with them. But aside from that, I definitely think they are a lock for the playoffs. It's just how far can they go? Do we see cup finals again 4 years in a row? Do we see another cup win? I'll say it's probably going to be tougher to do. Every year it gets harder and harder to achieve again. But at this point, can we doubt Tampa Bay? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we agree.
Yeah.
So
So
number
who do we have at the
one,
tippy top?
Tippy top.
Leafs.
Oh, thank you.
Me too.
Thank you too. I feel very sad now. Don't get mad at me, Leafs fans.
We're already mad at you. It's Leafs fans. They're like, you're positive about the Leafs? How fucking dare you? Are you a
How
real
could
fan?
you? You disgusting, stupid. Just kidding.
Woman.
Lady.
The worst insult
Not
you could
man.
throw at you.
A woman? Did you just call me a woman?
Yeah.
Gasp.
Sorry, love.
I feel like with the Leafs, it's like you put them low, people will complain. You put them too high, people will complain. There's no
Oh
winning.
yeah. Oh gosh,
There's no middle ground.
Now I'm
Oh.
interested to hear your opinions on why you put them at the top.
Do you want my notes?
Absolutely.
I put Channelle will probably not put them here, but Jessie will.
Right now, you did not.
And then they're a strong, experienced team. And then I just listed all the people on the roster.
That's funny.
Basically what I said.
Yeah. But goaltending's always a question mark with the
Always.
Leafs. Last year it was like, but will the goaltending be okay? And then the year before was, but will the goaltending be okay? So it's just a perpetual question at this point. Are they okay? Do they need goaltending therapy? Who knows? What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I said it for a while. I was like, maybe they just need like some changes on the goaltending coach side of things, and
yeah.
I think they did change that up this offseason, if I remember correctly.
They
So
did,
we'll see if that
yes.
has a positive impact. But yeah, I'm putting the Leafs at first mostly because, like I mentioned, I think it was more of a thing of if I'm expecting Florida to drop down a little bit and Tampa to drop down a little bit, that kind of just leaves me with, I guess, the Leafs float to the top by that default. And the only thing that I'm thinking could make them sink would be the goaltending, like we've all said. But looking at the exhibition games, the preseason, it makes me feel a little bit better. They definitely had a strong start, Samsonov and Murray, so I'm feeling a little bit better at it. So I think all things considered, I do feel like good enough putting them to number one. Does that mean they're gonna win in the playoffs? That's a whole other question, right? Just because the Leafs are first in their division doesn't mean playoff success, but I think they can comfortably make it to the top, depending on how well the other teams perform. Honestly, I think it's just a matter of like, does Tampa and Florida outperform again? If not, I think the Leafs can make the top for sure. I think we're gonna miss Mikheyev. We're gonna miss Campbell for sure. Mrazek is sorry, bye. It didn't work out, But I am interested to see Kalle Yarncroc especially perform. I'm curious to see if we get a good performance from Zach Aston-Reese. I've always kind of liked his role with the Penguins, so I'm hoping maybe he can bring a little bit of that over here. But yeah, Matt Murray definitely I find is the more questionable one to me. But if he can find back that sort of performance that he had with Pittsburgh in the early years, I would love it. I definitely feel better about Samsonov. I think we'll talk about it a bit later, but I think the Caps, it was an interesting choice to get rid of both their goaltenders, considering they're still young and they have some good potential. So I'm really hoping Samsonov has a great bounce back year and makes the Caps really regret it.
I'm not actually going to add anything much about Tampa since you both touched on it. I will add one thing. I feel not very I just wanted to mention that the Tampa Bay Lightning did add Ian Cole, and he just was in the news literally yesterday for some unsavory allegations. Very serious, disgusting allegations, mind you. I will
That's a
say,
bad deal.
oh, that's a bad you. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I just wanted to make a point since I was looking at a lot of comments online. You know, a lot of men in particular are pissed off
Ugh.
at people that he was immediately suspended. I just would like to add that the reason he was suspended was not because of a tweet and they just took it at face value. It was probably because of something behind the curtain. Someone might have said something, you know, in the anonymous post. She did mention that a player has or did bring it to her attention. Therefore, I think maybe someone thought this was not right and brought it to her attention, like I said. So maybe there's more to it than we don't know. And we'll see in the next coming days, weeks, months.
I'll say, as a fellow man, I have no problem with this.
No.
Honestly, it's kind of I was surprised by how quickly they actually started saying, "Oh yeah, okay, we have to jump on this, investigate it, and suspend them in the meantime." Like, I'm not 100% certain. I don't know if we got confirmation on this, but I'm assuming he's suspended with pay, most likely,
Yeah,
right?
he is. He is.
Yeah, so like that,
Yeah.
no matter what, and obviously if they end up saying, "Oh, he's innocent, nothing happened," then whatever, you can clear that up quickly. He still got paid, and you get back to it. But obviously, if these allegations are true, it would be awful to see that he still got to play in the meantime while they were figuring this out, and then they go, "Oh, oops, turns out, yeah, he is an awful person," and when we let him play in the meantime, right? It's that kind of situation that you just don't want to have on your hands. Honestly, I think it's better to be safe than sorry at this point. And like you said, they clearly have somewhere to look into, right, between the person throwing those allegations out there and the supposed players who would have heard these things from Ian Cole himself. You've got enough to start investigating, and should be at least easy enough to get an idea of, is there some validity to this, or is it kind of like overblown? You figure like stuff like this usually doesn't come out unless there's a bit of smoke to the fire. So I think it's just a matter of waiting and seeing what kind of information gets unveiled. All right, so we're ready to move on to the Metropolitan.
Definitely. Again, going
right.
8
and
to 1.
I'm curious. I wonder if we all have the same last place team. I have a feeling.
Maybe.
I have an inkling. To quote Channelle, I feel it in my nugs.
Okay,
Should we say it on 3?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Philadelphia
Flyers!
Flyers.
Yay! Yay, boys and girls.
Yeah, we all put them quite high last year. I say we all, mainly me.
Me too. I put them
I
really
don't
high.
remember if I don't think I was as high on them last time.
No, I think you were actually
No.
sensible, Jesse. I think you're like, no, they're going 7th. Fuck the Flyers.
I don't remember. Do I still
7th.
have my predictions from last year? I don't know if I have them anywhere.
It's on Molly's blog.
It is
Nice
on my
plug.
blog.
Go check it out.
Hey, go check it
Oh,
out.
no, I have it here. I had them at 6 last year.
Oh, see,
Well,
he
you know
was
what?
reasonable.
We were all wrong because they ended up in dead last.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully again this year, because then we'd all be right.
I have lots of notes on the Flyers.
Go for it.
Yeah, us too.
I've got 5 bullet points.
Ooh, 5
damn,
bullet
5.
points. So do we.
Know. But you've probably got essays to talk about. I've just put rebuild, Tortellini, lost Giroud, sad face, got D'Angelo, sad face, nothing stand out. And that's the summary you needed. Would you like to expand on that at all?
No, let's move on.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm interested to see how this shakes out, honestly. Like, I get why they hired Tortorella. I think it kind of makes sense for the team that they are. But part of me wonders if they should have just go with the direction that things are naturally going, where the Flyers were not doing well. It's going to be a good draft this year. You have a chance at Connor Bedard. Maybe they should have just tried tanking this year intentionally. I know that wouldn't be a Flyers fans' favorite thing necessarily, but some might feel like it could be necessary. I don't know, like, because like what at this point, if they end up being bad unintentionally, then you're just kind of back where he started anyways.
Yeah. My 2 cents is that they wouldn't have hired Tortorella if they wanted to tank.
No, exactly.
He gives me the vibes of like as if I will not tank. Are you kidding me? It's not fair for Tortorella. It's not fair for the fans or the hockey players. It's not fair for anyone really. So I personally say no on tanking. No one should ever tank. It's literally like a glitch in the system. You should not have this. It's not
Oh,
right.
you're anti-tanking.
I'm
Anti-tank.
anti-tanking. Absolutely. Do not tank. If you suck, own it. Okay? So that's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say is that Tortorella, actually I do have something to say. I'll say Tortorella is probably good for this team because
Yeah.
there were guys, I don't know if you remember last season, but there were a shit ton of rumors about there being locker room issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tortorella is known to at least
I feel like he's the coach that you see in sports movies
Yes!
that like start the montage.
Oh my gosh, exactly. And then,
He's
then the
montage
speeches.
man.
Yes, I agree. Well,
He's gonna
that's all I have
straighten
to
them
say.
out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe they won't be in last this year just because of that, but I don't expect them to be a playoff contender.
God, if not
Oh,
last,
no.
second last.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of work to do. I'll say that. Tortorella is not going to get off easy the first year.
I will say, I
Yeah.
think outside of Tortorella, I think that the GM, Chuck Fletcher, I think his job should absolutely be on the line, honestly. I haven't been impressed with his choices for the last 2 years.
Oh,
I don't
no.
think he's been really guiding the team in a proper direction. I don't like the moves he made this offseason for he signed Nick Deslauriers to a lot of money for like I don't think he deserves that amount of money. Like I don't think it fits. Tony DeAngelo too was a weird choice to pick up. Like Carolina kind of made out like bandits where like it was almost like a pump and dump scheme, right? Take Tony DeAngelo, raise his value, trade him off for a good amount of assets, and then wipe your hands of him.
Yeah.
And then with like Ellis being out for the whole season and just maybe the rest of his career, and then Couturier seems like he'll be injured to start the season for a decent amount of time, possibly. If he comes back early, it could be okay, but if Couturier is out for a long amount of time, that could really affect the team. I'm not feeling great about Philadelphia. That's why I was kind of saying like maybe they just should have let the failure happen naturally. Take what you can get instead
Just
of like
let
they
it
keep
happen.
trying and they keep failing.
Let it happen, make good choices. That's all Jesse's asking for.
Come on now.
Yeah. So I'm saying it right now. Chuck Fletcher's job he should lose it.
All right,
Yep.
you heard it here first, folks.
I think Philly fans would be okay with that, honestly.
Should we move on to 7?
Yeah, let's do it.
I put Blue Jackets.
Oh, wow. See, this is our first massive diversion.
Oh, massive, eh? Oh.
For me, yeah.
Okay.
So I got the Devils.
Me too. I have the New Jersey Devils as well.
I was going to put Devils there, but I actually respect them way more than that.
I do respect them actually, and Jesse always questions me on this.
You know what? I don't necessarily I have that feeling where I think we were high on them for a few years in the last few years where we're like, oh, it seems like they're making improvements. They should start going up. And then every time they would fall flat on their faces. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe they just don't have the right stuff in place to make the gains they need to do.
They don't have what it takes.
Yeah, like I almost put them in 8th below Philadelphia, honestly, just because of the John Tortorella factor. Like I was like, maybe John Tortorella pushes them to 7th and New Jersey falls again. But I think they've made enough improvements in the offseason that they shouldn't fall down to last place. You know, and they were very unlucky with goaltending injuries last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blackwood is good, but is Bernier ready to go? I don't know.
I don't even know if he's coming back this season because they signed Vitek Vanacek, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
who I do think is a good choice. He was really good with the Capitals last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Blackwood good and Vanacek in, it should improve a little bit at the very least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Andre Palat joined the team, right?
Palat, yeah, that's a good addition. That's a really good addition. That's all I have to say though.
Yeah, basically, me. I think it'll all come down to the coaching. I know Devils fans have not been happy with Lindy Ruff's coaching for the last few years, and I do feel like they've reached a point now where like if the Devils can't make improvements, I do think they would can Lindy Ruff.
Okay,
Oh.
and Molly, you?
I put Blue Jackets because it's nothing wow.
It's nothing. Wow,
No big wow there, huh?
it's a good
They've
assessment.
got a strong left field. Why did I put that? I think I meant to say they're imbalanced, but they got a strong left because they've got Goudreau now.
Yep.
That is that the yeah? Am I remembering
Yeah.
this correctly?
I always
You
forget.
are.
He's a left winger, right? I always
He's
forget.
lefty, isn't he?
Man, that's the one thing I'm really bad at is remembering the sides of the wings. I'm like lefty, righty,
North, south, east, west. Who knows?
yeah.
Lefty, righty.
Uppy, downy. All right.
So you think outside of
Okay.
Gaudreau, there's not much to look forward to for the Blue Jackets?
Their defense. I've put a name here and I can't read my writing. Oh my god, I'm literally the worst at this. Predictions: Blue Jackets, nothing. Wow. Goodness me, Laney's not as he was.
No.
You know, he's doing a
Well,
Harry
he
Styles.
had
there,
he had
you
an
know.
okay season last season. I think it was a good start.
Okay. You see, nothing. Wow, just okay.
Nothing. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's not 40 plus goals Patrick Laine anymore, unfortunately.
Exactly. Like, I hate to say it. Like, we're getting older. The hockey players are getting older. What we thought were fresh prospects are now veterans, so, you know, nothing wow. I'm sure they're feeling the lower back pain like I am.
I mean, maybe even more. They get hit all the time, right?
Yeah,
Or stationary.
exactly. There we go. See, that's my thing on that. Should we just go on to 6 before I
Yeah.
make
We
more
shall.
stupid
I will say,
comments?
I think you're not the only one with that opinion for the Blue Jackets there. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of fans are like, Goudreau, cool. What else you got? They're not the team that a lot of people follow, right?
Good Branson?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, and that wasn't necessarily the
Hey!
most popular addition either. Everybody, I know
No.
a lot of people were kind of like
Why?
low on that one.
Do we actually have any Blue Jackets fans that listen to us?
Oh, I think we have one.
They must be out there.
Do we have
Hi.
a Jamaican Blue Jacket fan?
Hello,
If so,
Blue Jackets
hi.
fan.
I'll
I'm
look
so
into it.
sorry for trashing your team.
We appreciate your dedication.
I'm sure
do.
you are. Wow.
You are much wow.
I will say for those teams that don't get a lot of attention, like the Blue Jackets or the Coyotes or like stuff like, I mean, for when you have those hardcore fans for those teams, I feel for them because
They
Oh,
are.
yes.
Wow.
you get kind of
Yeah.
crapped on a lot, right?
Fucking Saber fans. Oi.
Hey,
Oh.
hey now.
Hey now.
It was a child's extra large.
This child's extra large.
All right, so what do we got for 6th place?
6th place. I have the Penguins.
Oh shit. Controversial.
Wow. Controversial indeed.
What have you got, Jesse?
I've got the Islanders.
Oh, I've got the Devils.
Okay. So a little bit of a mix around here.
Yeah.
Channelle, yours is very hot, so let's start with that. Penguins fans are already mad at you, so you got to explain yourself quick.
Shriveled up grapes, I tell ya.
Fighting talk.
Ugh. Nothing special. I don't think they're gonna hold up because I think a lot of other teams are going to pull up, if you know what I mean. So
Wow.
nothing wow. Just not. I just do not think I think obviously they have good pieces. There's no doubt about that. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, etc. They also just acquired Petrie, right? And they keep losing in the first round. They're very much looking like the Toronto Maple Leafs, except just do not think they have a good team like the Leafs right now. And it's about time they falter. It's about time they get out of the race and figure it out. That's all I gotta say.
Wow,
I
Channelle, I think you
am
just personally
sorry.
attacked every Pens fan.
No, Pens fans are the best. They are the best. I actually know
Their team is
so
not.
many, and I feel bad for them, but at least they got so many damn cups, so you're gonna hold on to that, okay, fans? It's gonna come around, but just
I
not
mean,
right now.
yeah, at least they'll always have that.
They will, and that was fun for them. Okay, that's it. That's it for me.
All right, Molly, do you want to
Okay.
follow up on the Devils?
It's their 40th year. That's
What do
it.
you mean?
40 years in the NHL.
That is why they are
That's why they're
third
sick.
last.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Happy
Because yeah,
birthday.
technically the team existed before, but they joined. They went to New Jersey in '82. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I might have got my facts wrong, but you know, happy birthday.
Happy 40th.
no, you're right.
Wait.
You're right. '82. They
Yeah.
started. They moved to New Jersey in '82. Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize 40 years. Shit, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, happy birthday to you.
I mean, every year's a birthday, I guess, but 40th year, it's kind of a thing.
It's a big one. It's a big one. At 50,
Yeah.
it's retirement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Devils are in their midlife crisis phase.
Yeah.
Watch
They're
them buy a
gonna figure it out.
motorbike. They're going to acquire D'Angelo now, aren't they? Just
Wait, it's kind of accurate, the midlife crisis.
Well- Wait, who else put 6? Did you put Islanders?
Yeah, so I put the Islanders. I guess I'm the
Oh,
lowest
okay.
on the Islanders out of all of us here.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, like, I'm obviously I might be proven wrong once the season starts, but I do believe that firing Trotz was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the Islanders on paper, they're not really that remarkable. Like, they don't have a stellar team outside of Matthew Barzal, and like I think like Sorokin is definitely good in net. I think Pollock and Pellick are definitely strong defensive defensemen. But outside of that, I find it's really hard to like see any like potential here, and like they're definitely an older team. They didn't really change in the offseason at all, except for the coaching. And I do believe that Barry Trotz was the factor that put them over the top. And we saw even last year they had their struggles, right? Like they did much better in the second half of the year, but it wasn't enough to push them into the playoffs. So I'm betting on a drop from the Islanders.
So what I'm hearing is nothing wow.
Yeah, see, that's what I feel. I feel nothing wow. My wow factor was like at least they got Trotz. Trotz can definitely coach a team, even if it's his sort of defensive style. It's still usually good enough to get you somewhere. And no Trotz anymore. We'll see what the new coach does, but it definitely made me put them lower. This is my sort of like prediction for them. I think they're gonna drop in the standings.
Can I just like
Could be wrong,
continue
though.
on your point because I put Islanders at 5.
Yeah,
Same.
go for it.
So Trotz is defense man basically. Simple words, simple brain right now. Trotz defense, yes. Off season, they added more defense. So are they compensating by saying bye Trotz, hi Lane?
Yeah, their only addition really was like Alexander Romanov, right, on defense.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like that was the biggest addition, I guess.
It almost feels like they wanted to do stuff in the offseason and they just couldn't get any of it done.
Yeah. So
Either
that's
that
my
or the GM really
feeling.
wanted a break this offseason.
Yeah. Really needed a holiday,
Right? Do I really need to change up my team? Nah, they're fine.
This is
Well,
fine.
I also put the Islanders in 5th, so I'll just go off of that and we'll move on from the Islanders. But yeah, I don't know. To me, Lou, you guys think maybe they wanted to do more? I'm not so sure because Lou seems to be like maybe blaming Trotz a little bit. It seems like something happened behind the scenes, or the reason he literally said the reason he let him go is because he wanted a new voice, which is interesting because I also agree that Trotz is basically what made that team like who they are today, right?
Yeah, he's responsible for the renaissance, basically.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, the team does look exactly the same. I can't imagine that they would necessarily dip. If anything, I think they would stay exactly the same, which is why I put them at 5. Or, sometimes a coaching change does inspire you to try a little harder so that you're not instantly starting off on the wrong foot. So maybe they'll surprise us all and go up one level. I don't know.
Me for number 5, I put the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Nothing wow?
No, I kind of disagree, actually. Okay, they're not super wow. They're like, interesting. That's my
Okay.
Yeah,
logic.
and they have Goudreau now, so.
Yeah, so obviously I
That's
think
true.
Goudreau is a great addition, and honestly, I'm thinking that he'll align with Goudreau on the left wing and Laine on the right wing. I think that will be a really strong first line. Laine definitely was, like I said, he wasn't amazing, but he was still solid last year, and maybe with another really solid winger with him, it could actually up their production. A sort of like a mutually beneficial relationship.
Who centers?
Yeah, so the center thing, that's the big question, is who is going to center that line. I think the way they're practicing right now, it looks like it's going to be Boone Jenner, but he's not what I would call a superstar, sort of first line center, right?
They don't have any, so they're gonna have to
Yeah.
work with what they have.
So I'm wondering if we could see something happen where players like Cole Sillinger get a shot, or maybe even Ken Johnson. They're both two young players who Sillinger had a great year last year, I think, and Ken Johnson, who knows if he makes the team or not. I'm not sure if they've confirmed that or not, but I think there's potential for them to mix some stuff around, and maybe somebody gets a surprise sort of success where they just they end up in between Goudreau and Laine, and then all of a sudden
Yes.
their season just goes great.
I say try it.
For sure. And with you've got Yegor Chinikov. I think he's primed for a good season again. Their defense is sneaky good. Between Bean and Wierenski, Boquist I think could definitely improve. Gavrikov's been solid. Goodbranson is a little questionable, but I think honestly the thing that I'm less solid on is the goaltending. I think Merzlikin and Korpisalo have been middling for the last while. I think that's their weakness, probably.
No, the only thing they got going for them is that his first name is Elvis.
I mean, gotta love it, Elvis.
Yep.
I love an
Yeah.
Elvis.
So that's why I think I'm a bit higher on Columbus, but not playoffs high.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, what about 4th place? I put the Caps.
I also put the Caps.
I put the Rangers.
Oh,
Oh
interesting.
my goodness, Molly, that's drastic.
All right, Molly, give us your hot take.
My hot take. My notes again are not very good.
Read
I
them
have
verbatim.
put Good off, Arrow, Lafreniere, plus Kako, Panarin.
Panarin? I love your pronunciations.
It's because I spelled it wrong.
Oh. So you had to say it verbatim. I get you. I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, they had a good off season. But I guess I was kind of high when I wrote my predictions.
That's the only way to do it.
No, they had a good off season. Last season, I kind of ignored them because I didn't like them, but now I've looked back over it. I was like, actually, they had a really good season
They
in
did.
comparison to their others. So I should probably give them more credit, but I did put them into a playoff spot. So there's that. You're welcome.
So you've got a
Rangers.
sort of I don't care too much energy towards the Rangers.
Yeah, can you feel that?
Oof,
I
strong.
have this wow, they are wow, but also not caring enough to do proper research on them, unfortunately.
Small wow, not big wow.
Small wow. I'm sure I will probably have to eat my predictions when it comes to reality happening, time passing and all that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But no, I think it's going to be good for them ish. Why'd you put Caps in 4?
The reason why I put them in 4th was because they usually are good. They always they're very consistent. I'll say that. How about that? They're very consistent. Last year they were 4th in the Metro. Unfortunately, they didn't make it past the first round.
Yeah.
But they didn't lose anyone. Well, they lost Vanacek, Schultz, and Samsonov. But they did acquire Connor Brown, which I personally think is a great addition. He's good. He's really good, especially since growing on the Ottawa Senators. He wasn't able to do that very much with the Leafs, so happy to see him grow.
Yeah, I'm excited to see his performance with the Caps.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see where that goes. And they also added Dylan Strome, Darcy Kemper, sorry. And Gustafsson, right?
Gustafsson.
Gustafsson, excuse-moi. So I think their additions outweigh their losses, in my opinion. So I think they'll be able to keep it up.
Yeah, my question was really the goaltending. I get why they wanted to change things up. They clearly had a little bit of mixed results with the goaltending with Vanacek and Samsonov, but I do think they were good enough still, and they're still young, right? And what surprised me is that they let them go for nothing. They let them just walk in the off season.
Yeah, interesting choice for sure.
Like that, or wait, was Vanacek traded? I forget if Vanacek. So much stuff happened in the off season, but it's just the fact that they cleaned house there, and they're just okay, bye to both of you. I do think Kemper's a good choice. Obviously, clearly he's shown that he can be a solid goaltender to win a cup with someone, especially if there's a strong team in front of him. But my other question is Nicholas Backstrom. I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to play or let's play a lot this year. It seems like it's been a problem for the last few years now, where injuries are starting to pile up and he can't keep up as much. I think when he's on the ice, he's great, but he hasn't been on the ice as much lately. I'm not sure what his status is at this point, but I'm questioning if that'll come out, because I know they signed Dylan Strome and he might be slotted into the second line in the meantime as their center. But if there's no more Nick Backstrom for the Caps, I do think it makes them lesser. He is a very great player. It'd be sad to see him go out too because of injury.
Yeah.
Well, he's had surgery, hasn't he?
Oh, I forget what's his status at.
He had surgery.
I feel like every time I check, it's Nicholas Backstrom is injured. Oh, maybe he's coming back. Oh no, he's injured.
I think he's coming back because he had surgery in June.
He is starting the season on LTIR. Okay. But then how long will he be there? I do not know. I think it's kind of unclear.
It's a pretty big surgery, having hip surgery or whatever. So
I do think he will play this season. I probably think they're going to get him to the point where they're like, okay, you're ready to play, but then does it work out? Does he get injured again? Does he start playing and go, oh, I'm not ready?
They might leave him just before the last couple of weeks before playoffs, and then just be like, all right, off you go.
Pull a Kucherov there.
Yeah, basically. I feel like the Capitals are the Lightning, but they don't have as much sun.
Yeah.
They're all pale.
Am I wrong?
No, I get what you're trying to say. I feel you.
I do think the Lightning are a stronger team overall, though.
Oh yeah,
but that's what she's saying.
I'm saying that they're basically the same because you've got the same kind of core offense defense going on.
Yeah, not much is changing.
Yeah, but they're always consistently in the playoffs, and you're all just kind of like, oh, there's always one player on the team that you hate.
Yeah,
Tom Wilson.
Ovechkin.
I was gonna say Ovechkin.
I mean, I don't think there's anybody as detestable as Tom Wilson, honestly.
That's true. He is pretty awful.
He is also
rude.
Bad. But Ovechkin,
I'm saying obviously more on the on ice stuff. They're off ice. I don't know how he is as a person. On ice, obviously, he's made to be an antagonist.
It's another McDead to me. I'm sorry.
I think there's worse people off ice, obviously, clearly.
Yeah, people who get
Look, I wouldn't mind having a Tom Wilson on my team, but I do not want to play against a Tom Wilson.
God, no.
No. Oosh. Not messy.
All right, so number 3?
This is where I got caps.
Oh, that's where you got the caps?
Yeah. I've got nothing more to add about that. So you guys talk about your thirds.
Okay, yeah, pretty much in line with what we've said.
What do you have, Jess?
I have the Penguins.
I have the Jackets.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll say
listening.
I felt a little iffy about putting the Penguins this high, because in my head when I first started these predictions,
what
I
the
was like, oh,
hell?
I think the Penguins are gonna fall. But then after putting everything together, I'm like, no, I think they're gonna slot to third. Like again, the roster is mostly similar to last year, and last year they were able to hit. Well, what was it? Were they third again last year? I think Pittsburgh. Yeah, they were third in the Metro last year. So it's like the losses that they have. I feel like they're able to bounce back from them well enough. Like John Marino gets swapped out for Ty Smith. It could be a wash. Plus on defense, they acquired Petrie and Jan Ruda. I think those are two very good defensemen to like strengthen that decor. And with Mike Sullivan at the head as the coach, I don't think they're gonna drop that much. They seem to be resilient no matter what. It's weird. It just keeps like even if they face injuries, they somehow manage to keep going. So at this point, I'm not gonna doubt the Penguins making the playoffs, which is why I have them at third. Now, success in the playoffs is another question. As you mentioned previously, Channelle, they've been out in the first round for the last 4 years. You can tell they're definitely getting frustrated with that. So we'll see if that changes, but I do think they will make the playoffs again this year.
Listen, I'm pulling a Molly here, and I'm just saying, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I mean, I do speak like that too. Yeah.
I was just gonna say because the Columbus Blue Jackets, I believe they're gonna be third just because. My note is go Johnny Goodrow.
I approve of that message.
Yes. I just like their top line, and that's literally it. I just feel it in my nugs. TM.
You know what? If you feel it in the nugs,
It's got to be.
you go with the nugs. You know.
I do always. You never want to neglect the nugs. Never.
No negative nugs.
What about you, Molly? You said you put
I
the
put Capitals, and I've got nothing to say.
Right.
So we should move on to number 2.
You guys do your number 2. Yeah.
Okay. You sound confident in your choice.
I've done a Molly.
We'll keep the best for last, right?
Rangers.
Oh, okay. I have the Hurricanes.
Here comes the sun. Okay. Rangers. I put them because I do think they were stellar last season. They were. Oh, see, like I'm keeping up with the pattern. Apparently, they were second in the Metro last season, and they did lose in the conference finals to Tampa Bay. They were very, very close to making it. Yeah. So I just think that they did really well. Like they were very close to making it to the finals. They did lose, obviously, like Andrew Kopp, and I think he walked, right?
Yeah, in free agency.
Yeah. They did lose Strome and Georgiev, but they have Trocheck, BC, and Halak now. I mean, Halak he's okay. He's okay. But I do have notes here actually. I just don't want to neglect them. Oh yeah, Shesterkin.
I mean, I feel like that's the game plan for the Rangers,
That's literally the main reason I put them there. And I was like, what am I even saying? Okay, the reason I put them there mainly was because of Shesterkin. Like, he obviously, as you remember, everyone, he won the Vezina last season. And he was superb, stunning, 36 win season at a 0.93% save, or 0.93 save percentage. Pardon me. The only thing is they don't have a backup, but does that really matter if Shesterkin's in it? It depends. Will he get injured? I don't know. But I think they're contenders. Really, really strong contenders. Therefore, they are my second pick.
Nice.
For me, the Hurricanes at second. I think they're a
Rude.
very strong team still, and the only reason I didn't put them in first, honestly, is because of who I have in first. I think they do suffer a bit of losses with Niederreiter and Trocheck being gone. And as much as I do not love Tony D'Angelo, he did perform well with the team. But I do think Brent Burns, he is older, but as a sort of offensive defenseman replacement, you could definitely do worse. I think it's a decent choice. It's just a matter of how poorly it ages. It might age poorly. We'll see. But they acquired Stastny. They got Dehan as some extra insurance. Even Max Pacioretty, although he is unfortunately injured long term, I did like the idea of throwing him in there. So I'm hoping he manages to get to play with them before the end of the season and see what kind of impact he can have on the team. Yeah, because like honestly, that was quite the steal getting Pacioretty and Coughlin basically for free. So I'm just waiting for him to actually get to play with the team. I hope he recovers quickly from surgery. Yeah, that's about it basically for them. I believe in Rob Brindamore.
Yeah. I believe in him too.
My number 2 pick is my Molly pick. I put Penguins here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't think that's that crazy. I have him third.
I have made notes again. And by now
Bill.
people love my notes. Jarry. I don't need to say more than Jarry. I think he might win that Vezina trophy.
Do you
You're
now?
that high on him, eh?
Yeah, I am. I think he's great.
I'm a Jari fan.
Yeah, I'm he's not, my favorite goalie, but he's a good goalie. He's a bloody good goalie.
Yeah, he's had some ups and downs, but he definitely had a strong season last year.
Yeah, I feel like last year for a lot of the players on the Penguins, it was kind of like a bit of a floppy year, especially a certain Kapanen. So it was kind of like a kick up the butt season, and I feel like that's going to give them a little bit of zeal to go forth and score. But then I also have a question mark next to Crosby and Malkin because there are old concussed veterans.
Oh yeah, like the injuries, it's not an if, it's a when and how long.
Yeah, basically. Fantastic players, but I am expecting to see a decrease of points. But I feel like the rest of the team is going to make up for it, which is why I put them in second. I mean, my explanations for why I put people places makes no sense.
I mean, we've all been pretty close. There weren't many.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So
that's not bad. It's not bad, Molly.
Not bad at all. Who's one? One? Let's go for one.
Uno.
Canes.
I know what Channelle has. Chanelle's the same as me. Canes.
Oh, you also have the Canes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so then the Rangers. I put the Rangers, yeah.
Oh.
Well, do you girls want to talk about the Canes?
Sure.
Absolutely. Blooming robbed last year. Robbed last year. Holy shit is my notes. That's literally all I put. All you need to know. They were absolutely ripping it. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
I got you. I understand. I absolutely understand.
Translate me.
I got you. I got you covered. What she's trying to say is every year.
Every year.
Get better. Yeah? Every year the Canes get better. It's hard to see them fall at this point. They have just increasingly moved up the ladder, as you can see. Just if you just look at their graph, if you were to draw a graph, it would be up.
I literally drew a graph next to the Canes on my
There you go.
Look, it's a thing. Seriously, so I will send you a picture of my notes.
So funny.
Okay?
My God.
My notes are actually funny. I'm amazing.
See, I told you I could translate.
Invest in hurricane stock. It's going up.
Hey, I did, remember? I literally did. I loved the Canes before they were cool.
That's why I went to a Canes game.
Exactly. I was obsessed, and you're like, all right, let's go. And then you're like, okay, I like them.
Oh, look, a former Leaf.
Oh, look, a former Leaf. Um, yeah,
That's actually
nothing much
fair.
to say except they're consistently good. They haven't like completely changed. Their losses aren't massive. Like who cares about Max Domi? Come on. And although D'Angelo is great, I don't give a flying fuck about him. So he can just I could give a flying fuck about Tony D'Angelo. I don't care. They did lose Niederreiter, but again, they have other new additions that are good, like Pacioretty. Although he is literally going to be out for months, right?
Sorry, who?
Yeah.
Max Pacioretty.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he will be out with injury for a while, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
so that is unfortunate, but hopefully hopefully in 6 months, give or take, he'll be back on the team or for the first time on the team, and they can go hard for those playoffs because they are earning it, and it's about time they make it even further. I think the Canes will have a cup within 3 years.
I believe this. I back it.
Yes, Molly and I are literally on the same page. Jesse, you're number one. Go.
Yes, for the Rangers, I honestly wasn't too high on the Rangers for the last few years. I kept seeing their growth, right? Like they were in a rebuild not too long ago, and I always thought they were going to do better over time, but I felt like I just didn't see it click altogether until last year. And last year, they really impressed me in the regular season and in the playoffs. I definitely doubted them in the playoffs, and they kept making it through past the Pens, past the Canes, and they even gave at least a bit of a challenge to Tampa Bay at first until it went sideways. So I think this is a good amount of experience for them to build on to the point where I'm debating if I consider them a cup contender at this point. Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. I think we'll see if they can repeat last year's performance. I think this is a good sign that they're going in the right direction. So I'm taking a chance and I'm going high on the Rangers. I really like the forward core with Panarin, Kreider, and Zibanejad, and the addition of Trocheck. I did like that inclusion. I do like Trocheck as a player. I think he's good. And Lafreniere should keep growing. I think my only doubt on this lineup is Kako. I haven't seen him kind of grow as he was supposed to, right? Like as his expectations were early on. So that one I think is in doubt. I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see them try to trade him at some point if he doesn't improve, but who knows?
Yeah, he was a second overall picker at first.
Yeah, second overall.
Second. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
it is surprising. He didn't pop off quite as we suspected, huh?
No. And I really like their top four on defense. With Ryan Lindgren, Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, and Jacob Trouba, I think they are all very strong defensemen. So I feel like in the last few years, I wasn't really high on their defense until it all started kind of clicking and like the guys formed together. And I'm like, now I really like what I see. And no matter what, though, I think like what you were saying earlier, it's with the Rangers, it's kind of Shesterkin or bust.
Yeah.
He kind of carried the team last year, and I don't know if they need him to carry the team again. Like, can they afford him to falter a little bit, or does he have to be like a Vezina goaltender again for them to really succeed?
I think Vezina, just based off their backup. Are you going to rely on
Yeah,
their
I don't know
backup?
how I feel about Halak. I think he's like really on the tail end of his career at this point. Like, I expect him to maybe only play a few games in Shesterkin to carry the lion's share, and like
Yeah.
not that like Georgiev would have been better necessarily. Like I don't know how I feel. Like he hasn't been that great with them. So that's something. Although I'll say I'm surprised too they didn't either keep Ryan Strome or keep Andrew Kopp, because Andrew Kopp played so well with them during the playoffs. I'm surprised that didn't come through either of them. But like I said, I think Trocheck at least is a good like center to replace those guys on the second line. Like I think that's a fine substitution.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically how I feel about the Rangers.
Bad for putting them like, where did I put them?
Fourth, I think, right?
Fourth. Yeah. I don't
Right,
know.
look, if Shesterkin doesn't have the stellar year, it could happen. You never know, right?
Yeah, he could burn out if they're gonna do a Leafs and just be like, he keeps saving goals. Let's keep
And
him.
then eventually it stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely the biggest factor on that team last year.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Very exciting. Ooh. I feel like we're very
Allah.
sensible this week.
Actually, yeah, I'm wondering how much that's going to falter in the next episode.
Are we going to get more silly?
Yeah, is it
Probably.
just going to be wild predictions or sensible as well? And then we can at least come back and feel good about our predictions. And if we were wrong, well, that's not on us, man. We all
Yeah.
got it.
I mean,
Yeah, they're
there's at
probably
least
going to be
one
all
wild.
off.
Kraken number 1. Let's go.
Oh,
Kraken
that's
for
not
the
who you
Stanley
have.
Cup.
Oh, damn.
That's
I'm
who I
just kidding.
have.
That was what I said last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went all in.
That went well.
I'm
went well.
so glad we don't actually put money in our predictions because I would be so in debt.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't want to risk that either.
Yeah,
Good
no, oh my
thing.
gosh. Only one thing is sure: death, taxes, and losing in the first round. So
I'll bet on that.
and yeah, with that being said, I think we're done our predictions for this week with the Eastern Conference. Does anyone have anything else to add?
Okay, thank you so much for listening, and thank you, Jesse, for joining our podcast. You'll probably hear him on and off, maybe a lot more
I feel
this
like it.
season, if he feels like it, you know.
Only when he wishes to grace his presence.
Yeah, exactly. He'll make time for you guys.
Not if it's too early, though.
No, if it's too early, he will not be involved. Yeah, so please like, comment, subscribe, share if you can. We want to reach our audience and form a little community. We already have over... Did we reach 200? Yeah, eh?
We got 289 subscribers.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness. Okay then, how about this then? Help us get to 300!
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Follow us on Twitter at ThisHockeyPod or find us individually at itsjust_Molly and at Channelle LV. And, you know, come back next week for our next episode.